Hello, Anand Satyanand here. Ladies and gentlemen and children, the kind invitation from Ray Cranch to be one of the speakers at the memorial she was organising for her father Ray was an easy one for me to accept. Additionally, the request came at a time of a current phase of my continuing connection with rugby league. I am the present patron of the NZRL, confirmed again at the 2022 AGM. And during the second half of November just past, my wife Susan and I attended the semi-finals and the finals of the Rugby League World Cup, which the record book will call RLWC 2021 because of COVID, in England. This was a wonderful experience on many levels, aside, that is, from the results in the games. Kiwis went down narrowly in the semi-finals to Australia, with a hotly disputed try being ruled against us. Kiwi Ferns reached the finals against Australia, but were defeated soundly. Susan and I were close to the spirit of the teams, of which all New Zealanders can be proud. Aside from the games, it was a new experience for us of the north of England. We enjoyed something of the cities of Leeds and Manchester, and were present at famous grounds such as Elland Road in Leeds and the Old Trafford at Manchester, and among rugby league people, including from here the NZRL President Howie Tamati, Board Chair Hugh Martin, CEO Greg Peters, GM High Performance Motu Tony, some of us with wives and partners, who made a keen support group. We bonded well and would have been dangerous had either cup been ours. All of this made one think naturally of the game of rugby league and its origins, starting from the crucial meeting in the north of England in the George Hotel in Huddersfield in 1895, which began the game in Yorkshire and Lancashire. It was soon to spread in a remarkable way across to the other side of the world, to Australia and New Zealand, and since then the Pacific, with the first game in New Zealand being played in Wellington in 1908, joined thereafter in many other parts of our country. Since then, we have seen the game grow through a number of phases. For example, when clubs were paramount, then provinces, then national teams, and now in the modern era, the franchises. This last point of phases is significant regarding the person we honour this afternoon, because Ray Cranch was a player and an official that saw each of those phases in action, from club through to international and the modern era. His own life mirrored the game and its fortunes, and this tribute can properly be a salute to him as well as the game. I've thus mentioned the man, but not yet the place. You've made a great choice of venue, Raywin, because the Remuera Club, also known as the Commercial Travellers Club in Remuera, also known as the Auckland Leagues Club, are successors to the Auckland Leagues Club in Augustus Terrace, Parnell, from the 1970s on. It was there that a number of us saw Ray Cranch at his prime as mine host of a hugely successful enterprise, with an X factor of rugby league people as a principal source of clientele. As a young lawyer, I spent considerable time there at the Leagues Club because of regular monthly meetings as secretary of the Rules and Interpretations Board of the NZ League. This committee decided things like choice of referees for internationals, which I may say was generally an easy task because the legendary John Percival was then in his prime. The committee's main purpose, however, was to be connected with the rules of the game. And that time of the early 1970s was hugely significant because during then there came into rugby league the six tackle rule. I was, of course, the football tyro, and my colleagues on the committee, Bert Payne, Alex Dennison, Trevor Wellsmore, and later Ken English and Jim Campbell, were those steeped in many years of association with playing or refereeing or watching the game. I learned a great deal about technical aspects of the game from the discussions that flowed between those people. The wording of what New Zealand came to in time for the 1973 season was with the assistance of my efforts, that is, the expression of the six tackle rule. Mine host Ray, although he was not a member of our group, he was from time to time consulted about his view of a matter. And as we all know, he could always express a view if he was called upon. That time, ladies and gentlemen, with the Rules Board has come to mind recently because in my preparation to speak today, I've had the privilege of viewing the 8-minute clip on YouTube, which has Ray speaking about the game. He latches on to the point about free movement, which I acknowledge as being the liberation brought about by the six tackle rule and the need for a team to use the ball when in possession. Something that was not appreciated at the time was how beneficial the six tackle rule would be for the televised version of rugby league on screen. It was the forerunner for the spectacle that rugby league became for viewers in many parts of the world and which continues 50 years on. I want to be sure to leave plenty of room for others to speak about a well-respected and well-loved champion of the sport. I have struck themes to do with rugby league people, the game itself, and a little of its history. The game has always needed champions, and we are this afternoon saluting a very significant one in Kiwi number 341, player, administrator, official, and supporter, Ray Cranch, member of the New Zealand Order of Merit. Thank you for your kind and courteous attention.